I'm doing Moulin Rouge, and to debrief from the whole journey of Moulin Rouge, I said to CM, look, we just had a little baby girl. You go to Paris with our little Lily, and I'll meet you there. But I'm going to do one of these bucket list things. I've got friends in Shanghai. I'm going to go on the Trans-Siberian Express, and, you know, I'm going to take some Dostoevsky and vodka, and it's going to be amazing rejuvenation of my spirit. And I poured the wine, and I had 2 recorded books on an iPod. One I can't remember what it was, but the other one was F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. And I remember when it finished, just being inconsolable about the loss, that it was over, and most profoundly that I didn't know that book at all. I realized I didn't understand. It would seem completely new to me. And everything about it, the way it was written, the scenes in it, the characters. And I thought, that is us. That is now. That is who we are. And if I could just work out how to unlock the inner voice of Nick Carraway, there was a film to be made of that book. There was a way of doing a film. We are research junkies. We have lived as Zelda and Scott for many years now. Let's not talk about the champagne cocktail part, right? But really and honestly, every decision in this film has come from Fitzgerald in our interpretation. So, for example, Fitzgerald was an extreme modernist. You know, he was so interested in film. He was so interested in screenplays. And he would put film technique into his writing. So I was thinking, you know, if I was kind of Fitzgerald and Fitzgerald was doing a film, what modern thing would he go about doing? And right about then, I was lucky enough to see, I was at Warner's and I called up the old reels of Dial M for Murder by Hitchcock. The drama was playing out. It wasn't exactly like theatre, but it wasn't film either. And it was dramatically amplifying things. It was a dramatic amplification. And I was thinking about Gatsby, which begins with all this razzle-dazzle, but ultimately strips down to 5 actors in a hotel just up the road here. Just actors in a space. That could be incredible, particularly actors at the top of their game. So I just thought, I know there's going to be a lot of eyeball rolling. I know there's going to be a whole lot of, can you just not do that? But I just thought, I have to, if Fitzgerald was going about it, he would not walk away from this new tool.
As a visualist, I mean, in terms of being a filmmaker, Baz uses all the techniques from working with actors to script to music to the image. He is always thinking about what is going to ultimately go on in the picture plane. So he can draw stuff for me. I think he scribbled a few things for me. He uses tear sheets and also kind of philosophical perspectives that he is approaching the work from to kind of give me a starting point. So one of the fundamental things that he came to me with, he said, I don't want the New York that this story inhabits, that we create in the film, to be a nostalgic New York. I don't want it to feel soft and historical. I want it to feel as sexy and contemporary and modern and visceral and exciting and hard and all those things as it would to the characters in the book and as it felt to Fitzgerald. So it starts with sort of some philosophical points of view, some actual imagery, and then it's a whole process of research and analysis of the source material. In fact, through the archives at Brooks Brothers, I was able to deduce that they'd been making seersucker suits sort of late 19th century, early 20th century, and they'd actually made pink seersucker suits. I mean, pink shirts have been in existence for over 100 years, or longer actually. And men wore very colourful shirts in the mid-19th century, so all those colours. But anyway, it came out of the fact that Fitzgerald was a lifelong customer, that he mentioned it in his books, but it was really through the research. And from that point on, I decided it would be great to partner with them to be able to give more texture to the film. I thought that it would help to tell to describe the kind of New York and the kind of milieu that Gatsby inhabited, that we would have the luxury of having clothes that were specifically made for the background men.
You know, Leonardo, I didn't think about it, right? I didn't think about it because I worked with him when he was a young, gifted boy. He's now a man. He's fully in control of his instrument as an actor. He has natural screen charisma. He's also, in my estimation, one of the greatest actors that ever there were. I know that. So he's obsessively, because early on his natural screen charisma got him a lot of attention, run away from that. He's run towards the complex. He's run towards the dark. But the one thing that was really clear, I mean, Fitzgerald took African-American street music and he put this jazz in the pages of his text. He put popular song in the text of The Great Gatsby. Now look, I love traditional jazz. I happen to have grown up with a stepfather who had 14,000 jazz 78s of the period and 11,000 cylinders, which people go, what the hell's a cylinder? It's like, you know, it's old. Anyway, the thing is that, I mean, I know my big Spiderbeck and I love that sound, but the singular fact is if you put that music that's in the text in a film, it's classical music. I mean, it's wonderful, but it's extremely charming. And I wanted to find a way to make the film feel like what it was to read that book in 1925. Now, you know, people said, why are you doing it? Jazz is a fad. It's going to be over next week. Fitzgerald coined the phrase, the jazz age. And it wasn't much of a leap to go, well, we're living in the hip-hop age. The idea was that when the characters are hearing, you know, we're hearing, ba-da-da-da-dum, boom, you know, it was that intoxicating, it was that dangerous.